Costing is generally a key concern within any ERP environment. I have heard many different stories of customers that have actually faced challenges with such simple things such as when receiving a product having a different cost from when it was invoiced and having that cost accurately rolled then to any sale or any manufacturing or production requirements that they have within their business environment. Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central has a very sophisticated costing engine that allows you to actually tackle these types of business events without having to worry about having inaccurate costing data within the system. To highlight that, if we go into our setup, what we can see inside of what's called our inventory setup inside of the system drives how costing can actually be maintained within the system. More specifically, when you're actually going through and then doing some of these transactions, we can automatically post that cost to the general ledger to reflect that value. We can also have things such as expected cost posting enabled, so therefore when you're receiving items that have not yet been invoiced, instead of running a received not invoiced report, the system will actually maintain the value of that received not invoiced value at the balance sheet so you can actually report off of it in the future. This costing setup then also allows for that scenario where you may have a received good that then changes in price as part of an actual invoice, which can affect other processes inside of the system. This scenario is natively supported by Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. For costing methods, we have a variety of costing methods that can be leveraged. We have FIFO, first in, first out, LIFO, last in, first out, specific, which generally requires either a serial number or lot number to be assigned to a particular product, average, and standard cost as well inside of the system. These costing methods allow for you then to actually drive other setups in the system, such as with standard costs, you may want to track your purchase price variances, or maybe even your actual labor, material, subcontracting, or overhead variances within a production process. To be able to set this up for an item, on our items, as we actually navigate into it, so we will use our hearing aid here that we've set up inside of the system. In here, I can actually then override and specify a different costing method per item if required. Best practices generally indicate that your classifications of products, such as finished goods versus raw materials, may have different costing methods. It's rarer to see a multitude of costing methods inside of an environment. In this scenario, we actually have a hearing aid that is actually a production-based item, as you can see down here. We have an actual routing, which is the labor that's going to be done to be able to create this particular product, and we also have a bill of materials that we actually go through and consume as part of the creation of this product. In our system, if I click on my navigate up here and go into my bill of materials, I can very easily and quickly see the cost breakout for this particular product by clicking on the cost shares of the given finished good inside of the environment. When clicking on the actual cost shares, I can see all the costs and the different types of replenishment methods that we use to be able to actually go through and build this particular product. So we can see here that the total rolled up material cost, or all the materials that are needed to create this product, are $660.47, whereas there's a bunch of labor to be able to build this product as well that is considered that rolls up into our rolled up capacity cost. And finally, on the far right here, we also have overhead cost that can be driven based off of work center overhead that you may have for heating or different bills that you may want to spread across an actual work center, so you have more accurate costing for a given product when going through the production process. On the far right here, then, we can see the total cost related to it. So for this given item, it is $676.47 as the standard, and any deviation with that, if it's set up as a standard cost item, would then post to those different variance accounts within the actual system. Even if you don't use standard cost, When navigating through and taking a look at inventory quantities, an example here, if I actually go through and then navigate on an actual raw material, so we're going to go to, for example, an actual hearing aid microphone, and if I actually navigate off of this and I look at the items by location, I should see that there are 98 in the main warehouse. And when I drill into that, you can see on the far right here that there's been some transactions that have occurred with this particular product. We've had some consumption on production that we've done, and we also have some receipts of purchases that we've done as well. And as I navigate over to my right here, I can see the actual costs of those that have posted to the general ledger. So we can see, for example, that we received 90 at $12,599.10. And then lastly, we had another 10 that were received at $1,399.90 inside of the system. So this costing information rolls and is applied then towards your cost of goods sold or towards your WIP value when you actually go through the particular production process that you may need to tackle within the Business Central environment.